Put yourself out on the plane, make me wanna take a taste. I've seen this before, yeah, I've been here with you, yeah. I'm a back door, yeah, that's just how we do. That's the baby, we run like a rerun, oh. We run, you and me, love. When I let you in, you do me dirty. Like it when I'm wordy. Want me when I hit you with that I love you. Cut me loose in the morning. You be ignoring me till this time next week. We run like a rerun. Coming over to my place, cause you misbehaving. We run like a rerun. Put yourself out on the plane, make me wanna take a taste. I've seen this before, yeah, I've been here with you, yeah. I'm a back door, yeah, that's just how we do. That's the baby, we run like a rerun, oh. We run, you and me, love. We run like late night television repetitions of your love, like a rerun. We run like a rerun. Coming over to my place, cause you misbehaving. We run like a rerun. Put yourself out on the plane, make me wanna take a taste. I've seen this before, yeah, I've been here with you, yeah. I'm a back door, yeah, that's just how we do. That's the baby, we run like a rerun, oh.
I'm driving by your house and it's got me all in my head. And there's so much I wanna say, but I never send a text. I know that I left you over something, but maybe I got it wrong. I'm driving by your house and there's only one thing I know. Cause babe, when I see a starry sky on a summer night, oh, still thinking of, I know that every time I'm in the car and I hear that song, baby, I'm still feeling you. So tell me, what else can I do? Oh, I wonder all the time. So tell me, what else can I do? Oh, I try to clean my mind, but baby, I still think of you. I turn on the TV and I'm watching the shows you like. Then I'm talking to my mom and she says your name every time. I know that I left you over something, but maybe I got it wrong. So what am I to do when there's only one thing I know? Cause baby, when I see a starry sky on a summer night, oh, still think of you. I know that every time I'm in the car and I hear that song, baby, I'm still feeling you. So tell me, what else can I do? Oh, I wonder all the time. So tell me, what else can I do? Oh, I try to clean my mind, but baby, I still think of you. Friday night and I'm home alone. I lay in bed with nowhere to go, but I won't sleep, I already know I'll be thinking of you. Cause baby, when I see a starry sky on a summer night, oh, still think of you. I know that every time I'm in the car and I hear that song, baby, I'm still feeling you. So tell me, what else can I do? Oh, I wonder all the time. So tell me, what else can I do? Oh, I try to clean my mind, but baby, I still think of you. Friday night and I'm home alone. I wonder all the time. I lay in bed with nowhere to go, but I won't sleep, I already know I'll be thinking
what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get, you get, you get, you get. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. I got a heart that overflows. With every beat it wants to go. Back to the start, cast in my soul. There is a need to let it all go. I wanna be the reason that you smile today. So let's be free and give it all away. That's what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. So let's give it all away. Give it all away. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give today. I ain't got no plans and more than enough. Oh, to go around, there's always more, 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 more. I got two hands to pick you up. When you are down, that's what I am here for. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. So let's give it all away. Give it all away. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. Do you wanna be the reason that you smile today? That you smile today. Smile today. So let's be free and give it all away. All away. All away. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. That's what you get. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you give. So let's give it all away. Give it all away. So let's give it all away. Give it all away. So let's give it all away. Give it all away. So let's give it all away. Give it all away. Oh, I wanna be the reason you smile today. You get what you get. Get what you get. Oh, I wanna be the reason you smile today. You get what you get. You get what you get today. Is it too good to be true? I want this so much, but don't know if I can trust you. My mind's racing fast, trying to find the red flags I'm used to. All these green lights, are they coming too soon? Caught between red and the green and you. I'm stuck in the blue. You value how I'm feeling. How do you have so much time? Been searching for a reason for why you'd love a chip design. Aren't you listening to me now? Screamed all my secrets, why don't you leave them? Ooh. Is it too good to be true? I want this so much, but don't know if I can trust you. My mind's racing fast, trying to find the red flags I'm used to. All these green lights, are they coming too soon? Caught between red and the green and you.
tell me that I owe you. Don't you need to review? The safety when I hold you, you know exactly what to do. Did you fall out of the heavens or crawl up from under? I can't help but wonder. Ooh, oh, is it too good to be true? I want this so much, but don't know if I can trust you. My mind's racing fast, trying to find the red flags I'm used to. All these green lights, are they coming too soon? Caught between red and the green, and you, I'm stuck in the blue. Stuck in the blue. Stuck in the blue. Is it too good to be true?
you. I forget just why I left you. I was insane. Stay and play that Blink 182 song that we beat to them to song. Okay.
Backseat on your rubber bed, I know you cannot fall. Bet that tattoo on your shoulder, put the secret of the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older. Where are you now? I'm running. I'm gonna see. Where are you now?
ASL 시즌 9 리프레션 파이널.
And we are finally here at the ASL Season 9 Finals. Queen has been playing amazingly, managing to beat Flash and get this far.
But his opponent, Light, certainly the second best Terran, if not the best right now. Looking fantastic, fresh off of a KSL victory, looking for his second championship.
And in such an unusual fashion here, we don't have the player that normally wins basically every StarCraft 1 tournament. To come down here, this is showing just how competitive, just how tough, the 22 years of StarCraft have become.
Yes, indeed. These guys are at such a level, it is just unfathomable. The best play that we have ever seen, one of the best Star Leagues of all time this season, ASL 9. The games have been out of control, the series back and forth, so close. Upsets, really big-name players also making it far. It's just been a perfect blend.
And I think out of all the finals we've ever had for an ASL, this is probably the most difficult to predict who comes out on top.
You are 100% correct on that, because Flash has been in most of the finals so far. So, like, those are not ones that you really have a hard time predicting. Whereas this one, this is like the best Terran versus Zerg versus the best Zerg versus Terran. And
right, in the respective matchup.
What's that going to look like? We really don't know. These two are, like, made to play each other.
One of the things I'm most excited about seeing today is what the fan predictions are going to be when we throw that up here, because I think there's no way to really say that one player is truly going to be better than the other until we have them play here today.
No one's confident about who's going to win. Nobody. Like, everyone's been asking, who do you think, who's going to take it?
Okay,
nobody
here we go.
knows.
Wow, right. So Queen's slightly favored here as far as fan vote submissions go.
I think all this tells us is that Zerg fanboys are more likely to vote in a poll.
Queen's stream has been doing a little bit better, and he got more people voting for him.
You're probably
possible.
right.
It really is possible. I also think, and this is a rarity, but I do think we're going to go all the way to Game 7 here.
That's such a hard thing to predict, but it could.
It's a statistical rarity to have in a best of 7 you actually get to that 7th game, but I think for how close this is looking already, and the way we've seen just in the past few weeks the meta change a lot in Terran versus Zerg, the way that people are approaching it. We're going to be unpacking more of that for you guys when the games start, but just a little taste. We're seeing, Zerg's doing these 4-hatch expanse, a lot to go into, but first a quick video for you guys. All right, it is time to start the ASL Season 9, finals here with Light versus Queen. This is Castor Park on stage. He'll be interviewing our two players, getting their thoughts before we start this. Yeah, please go ahead, Artos.
Yeah, no, in just a moment here, and you can see, I mean, this is going to be an epic finals. These two, again, meant to play each other. Flash crafted them in his own image for them to do battle for us here tonight.
So he's just introducing Queen here on the stage, our Zerg player. And then he'll be going over here to Light as well. And now he's going to do the Light introduction. And then he'll ask him a few quick questions, their thoughts going into this, how they're feeling, being in the finals, and probably what the score they're predicting will be when it comes out.
Can't wait to see what they have to say about that. I wonder if one of them feels really strongly that they're going to win.
Yeah, I would be surprised if either player actually says they're expecting a 4-0 or a 4-1, but occasionally we do hear that in finals interviews.
Yeah.
So, Castor Park says, first to you, Queen. Today, your opponent is Light. You've already managed to defeat Flash to get here. The only thing that stands in your way is another Terran player. It's been almost 10 years since you've been on a final stage. And your opponent isn't even Flash, it's Light. What are you thinking? If I defeat Flash, I'm sure I've disappointed a lot of people that wanted to see him in the finals. But anyways, I'm here now, and I expect to become the champion today. So you're saying this isn't even the real finals because you already took out Flash, our strongest player. No, that's not what I'm saying. Light, I think, is just as good as Flash is, but those two are huge mountains for me to overcome. But since I've defeated a huge opponent like in the semifinals, it might be a little bit easier. So you're saying, you're laughing when you say that he's a tough opponent. Why are you laughing at him? Sure, he's still a tough opponent to take on. But I've already overcome Flash, so I should be able to defeat Light as well. And so this should be easier than semifinals, he admits. So you know Light very well. You're both pro gamers who have played against each other, but you're friends as well. How does it feel to be playing against Light now? Yeah, we're good buddies. I think whoever wins today, and whoever loses as well, I think we can definitely congratulate each other. So, I mean, that's the story, I think. I think he'll look better in the pictures that we had in the intro video if he's got the championship trophy. Queen, I see you're smiling, Light, I see you're smiling as well. Whenever he starts to talk about you, he's always laughing. So what is your take on his reaction over there and what he said? This could be a huge opportunity for you to become a champion, but you're up against Queen. What do you think? I think Chosim had a similar reaction, and I managed to defeat him. I don't think Queen's played against me officially in the past, so he doesn't know what I'm like in a tournament setting. So you know each other very well, but you know his style well as well, correct? And what is his weakness, by the way? It's very obvious. He's very blatant in his play. Is it really that obvious, he says? He says, yeah. It's very obvious what he's going to do. Do you think if you play as you prepared, you'll win? I think it's possible. Maybe I'll let him take a game or two, but certainly not the series. So when you saw that Queen was going to be in the finals and he'd be playing against him, what was going on in your mind? Well, of course, I thought I was going to be the champion. But I should not get overconfident. I'm reminding myself that as well. Back to you, Queen. You heard what he said. He's already prepped. He says your play is very obvious. What do you say to that? Well, it's clear he's very confident after defeating Chosim. But Chosim is a completely different player than me. Trust me, I'm very different. I don't know where this confidence is coming from, frankly. So say some words to him. Yo, Light. You've already won a championship in a different tournament. Since when? But I think two championships in a row is too much for you. I won't let it happen. You heard what he said? He says, wake up, you're not a championship level player. I think since we don't have an audience, Queen feels like he's at home. I'm going to be sure to remind him what a finals really feels like. And I'm going to defeat him. He said, say something to Queen. He said, be ready to congratulate me at the end when we're done here. Queen? In advance, I'll say congrats on getting second place. Okay.
Okay, Light won that interview.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That does it for our interview. I guess we're not going to do predictions.
Well, we kind of did. Light said he's going to wreck him. And then he wrecked him in the interview like really hard.
All right, we're going to start the ASL finals. Let's go, guys. Get ready. This best of 7 is on.
만에 결승을 왔는데 사실 다시 결승이라는 무대에 올라갈 수 있을까 되게 걱정을 많이 했는데 오게 되니까 너무 기쁘고
굉장히 기분이 좋고요. 만나고 싶은 상대였고 만나면 이길 수 있다고 생각했던 상대이기 때문에 더 기분이 좋습니다.
막상 첫 시즌에 그렇게 예선 탈락을 해버리니까 아쉬웠거든요. 이번에는 3코인을 넣었으니까 올라가지 않을까 뭐 이런 생각은 하고 있었어요. 죽음의 조 하지만 김명훈이 껴있어서 죽음의 조라고 생각을 또 하고 상대가 누구든지 간에 자신이 있기 때문에 뚫을만 하겠는데? 라는 생각을 했어요.
좀 큰 그림을 봤거든요. 16강 경기보다 이제 8강을 갔을 때 뭐 1등이든 2등이든 상관없으니까 진출만 하자는 생각으로 했었습니다.
저그 대 저그가 운이 많이 따라야 되는 거라고 생각을 하지만 솔직히 말해서 이길 자신이 웬만하면 다 있거든요. 좀 쉽게 가지 않았나 생각이 들어요.
1격을 맞았었죠. 그래서 유독 긴장을 더 했던 것 같은데 프로토스들도 다전제에서 다 이겨본 경험이 있었기 때문에 자신은 있었어요.
이영호 선수랑 결승에서보다 4강에서 만나는 게 좀 더 낫겠다. 쉽진 않겠지만 제가 잘 해보면 3판 정도는 어떻게 해볼 수 있지 않을까 생각을 해가지고 준비를 열심히 했습니다. 이영호 선수가 9년 전에 썼던 그 결승에서 썼던 발키리 빌드를 계속 쓰더라고요. 얘는 나한테만 발키리를 쓰는 건가 이 생각 들면서 되게 좀 탓을 하고 있었거든요.
김명훈 잡아냅니까 이영호를? 김명훈 선수 이영호를 잡아내면서 결승 진출.
역시 그래 김명훈 스타일로는 안 되겠다. 너무 뻔한가 보다. 올인이든 뭐 제 스타일을 버리든 이기고 보자 해서 급하게 전략을 수정했던 게 잘 먹혔던 것 같아요.
많이 연습했거든요. 빨리 해보고 싶어요. 어떻게 되는지.
저를 원한다 이렇게 말하길래 무슨 자신감으로 저럴까 그런 생각을 좀 많이 하고 제가 이겨본 경험이 있었기 때문에 못 이길 상대라고는 생각을 안 했고요. 그 경기 지고 조금 당황했던 건 사실인데 그래도 스코어적으로 뒤지지는 않는 상황이라서 좀 정신만 차리면 되겠다 생각을 했었고요.
발키리 숫자가
좀 더 안 되고 있어요.
네. 자, 최후의 1점.
준비하기 위한 싸움이거든요. 이재우 선수 그동안의 한계를 깨고 결승 진출 이뤄냅니다.
너무 이것저것 다 해보려고 하면은 독이 될 수 있거든요. 특히나 대회 상황에서는 그거를 잘 노려가지고 다 잡았던 것 같아요.
이재호는 눈에 안 들어오거든요, 사실상. 그만큼 이영호 선수는 무서운 존재고 그만큼 이재호 선수는 쉬운 존재다.
김명훈 선수는 저를 만났으면 결승전을 못 갔죠. 요즘 박상현 선수의 경기를 보면서 저그 유저들이 많이 따라해요. 김명훈 선수는 그거를 따라하는 선수예요. 원조로 제가 3대1로 꺾고 올라갔어요. 제가 지겠습니까?
반대로 박상현 선수랑 하는 거 준비하는 것도 보고 했는데 자기도 똑같이 하더라고요.
제가 예전에도 저그를 이기기 어렵다는 배틀로얄에서 테란이 0대 10인가 그랬는데 제가 유일하게 첫 승을 거뒀었어요, 그 맵에서. 그 상대가 누구였냐? 김명훈이었습니다.
예전에 한상봉 선수한테 졌던 거, 한두열 선수한테 졌던 거 이상한 선수들한테 지더라고요. 오? 얘 잘하는 애 맞나?
조금 유리하면은 방심을 많이 해요. 소위 말하는 정신줄을 좀 놓거든요. 제가 조금 불리하게 가는 스타일이니까 그런 멘탈적인 부분을 좀 많이 공략하려고요.
초반부터 좀 공격적으로 하면은 먹히는 것 같아서 그걸 좀 중점적으로 연구를 해볼 생각이에요.
이영호 선수를 이기고 나서 좀 약간 어깨에 뽕도 많이 들어가고 자신감이 좀 과하게 붙은 것 같은데 제가 확실하게 밟아서 4대 0으로 이기겠습니다.
자기가 무슨 이영호 선수 마냥 10회 우승은 한 것 같이 말을 하는 거예요, 계속. 재호야, 네가 언제부터 우승해봤다고 또 우승하려고 그러냐. 넌 그냥 준우승 해, 재호야. 넌 이영호 아니야.
이번에 ASL 무대는 첫 결승이잖아요. 꼭 우승해가지고 여러분들과 같이 그 기쁨을 나누고 싶고 재밌는 게임 보여드리도록 열심히 하겠습니다.
상대가 이재호 선수로 정해지면서 거의 90% 온 것 같은데 진짜 우승을 해보면은 정확히 나머지 10%를 찾아서 알 것 같아요. 꼭 우승하도록 할 테니까 집에서라도 응원 많이 해주시고요. 좋은 모습 보여드릴 수 있도록 열심히 하겠습니다.
ASL 시즌 9 Refresh Final.
I absolutely loved that interview video.
That was amazing.
That was great.
I love Light's attitude overall. He's just like, who are these kids that think they can beat me?
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
So he said a 4-0. That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
That's what he's
I don't
predicted.
think it's going to be a 4-0.
I can't imagine that this is going to be one-sided at all.
I think it's so funny because, like, he was, like, Flash was quite unpredictable in his series against Zero and lost. Right. And then Light, like, Queen even said that Light was super predictable in his series against Chosham, which he was. He just played, like, his very standard normal play. He's just like, I don't know, I'm pretty good at the game, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like we're hitting this thing where now we have to play 7 maps, you know, as long as they keep going back and forth and Light doesn't 4-0 like he says.
Right.
And it's like, is he going to bring different styles? Is he just going to do the same thing over and over? I have no idea, man.
I don't know what to predict here with Light. We've definitely seen a lot of new changes here in the meta from the Zerg side of things.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen, I was talking about this a little bit, but then we had to throw those videos on for you guys. But Zerg's double expanding after teching into mutas, sometimes keeping it slow on 4 mutas to do some pressure just to contain them. There's enough pressure that the Terran has to respect it, but really they're controlling the map, controlling intel here. You know, the way that the games went, by the way, here's the brackets on screen for you guys. You can see Queen managed to defeat Flash. Flash is the person who normally wins all of our ASLs. I don't think that Flash-Queen game is going to be representative at all of what we're going to see here today, though.
Yeah, we're not going to see Light play like that all day. But are we going to see Light play like he did against Chosham? I don't know. I'm not sure what any of this is going to look like, except it's going to be a lot of fun.
Another notable match worth checking out that was quite interesting was Stork versus Light in the round of 8. The weird carrier gambit that we saw in the best of 5.
That was good. I thought Chosham Bisu was maybe the most exciting match of the
absolutely.
tournament so far, probably.
That was a series where so back and forth, and then the final game you didn't know who was going to win until the last second.
Yeah, the Queen Larva series was kind of fun too, actually, even though like it's a ZVZ and a lot of people don't like that as much. I thought that was a great series. This has just been a very good tournament.
One of the best seasons we've ever had for a StarCraft tournament, by far, easily. Going into this, you know, there's a reason why we extend the series longer and longer as you get further and further in the tournament. And when you get this far, it's finally a best of 7. And that's because, you know, anybody can win one game at the top level. But to win a best of 5 or a best of 7, you have to be able to adjust your strategy. In the first 2 games, for instance, you're going to have a lot of time to farm data on how your opponent is playing that day, what strategies he's going to use.
Yeah.
And this series should be one of the most interesting TVZs we've ever had.
Yeah, I'm actually extremely interested in it because the meta is actually shifting right now. Like you mentioned, there's some new strategies with expanding patterns, like double expands. That is something that we've seen between Queen and Choshim Zerg quite a bit, and they're really the two leading Zergs in the world right now. But also, after that Ultralisk rush that crushed Light in Game 2 of his series against Choshim, I can tell you that just the entire scene right now is full of Ultralisk rushes, and they have some variety to them, but like people are not making Defilers right now. They're going into Ultra very, very quickly due to that. So is that going to be a continuing trend here tonight? I'm not sure.
And if it is a trend, how exactly will Light deal with it? I think Light is, especially in TVZ, he's more predictable than some of the other Terrans, but at the same time, mechanically, he's so gifted, he can just overpower them.
Yeah, he's so strong, and he knows tactically exactly the things that he can do and get away with. Like, he won a game that looked unwinnable against Choshim in one of those series with just very standard play. It was amazingly done. So, yeah, the thing is, he also can do everything, which is something people might forget. Like, he can do any build. It doesn't matter. When you get to this level, like, builds go out the window, to be honest, like what we talk about, and I mean, they're important and everything, but there is going to be some component of this that's mind games.
Absolutely.
Right? And so he can bend himself around however he thinks is going to benefit himself.
Another thing I'm wondering as well is, are we going to have any very early aggression from Queen? I don't think so, or at least maybe in one of the games.
What do you mean by very early aggression?
Just trying to do some kind of an all-in early, let's say a quick lurker bust at the entrance.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Or maybe some crazy Ling or Hydra rush. I don't know. Queen seems to be more comfortable going into a late game.
Yeah. By the way, this is just a list of our previous TVZ finals. Flash beat Shine, and then Flash beat Hero, and then Effort beat Flash, and now finally it's a TVZ finals that does not have Flash in it. And the fourth Zerg they're playing against a Terran in the finals as well. But yeah, it's just going to be so good, Tasteless. I just wanted to start. Like,
I know.
We have all these great graphics and everything, and these are two very storied players. As you saw, they were on Woongjin together. That's great. But I want to see them fight Tasteless.
It has to be a very unique experience for both of these guys, because with Flash eliminated in the round of 4, I think they both know they could take it.
Oh yes. This is doable for both players. That's absolutely true.
One thing, a quick aside here before we start, Flash has declared he will be playing random in the next tournament. And so we will now have our first player where the computer chooses his race. And we'll see what happens with that. Random has never actually been banned in any tournament here in Korea.
A lot of people thought that. I don't know where they got that from.
What is true is that you can't just pick your race depending on your opponent's race.
Yes, that's right.
Race picking is banned, because then you could pick this race, so they could just change that, and there's no way to really handle it. But we're going to go into a new era after this tournament. Anyways, here's our map lineup for the finals.
Yes, so we're starting out on Horizon, which has been a Terran graveyard. Only one TVZ victory exists, and that was Flash against Choshim. So, yeah, if I recall correctly, that's the case. And then Sylphid is the very even cool map. Hitchhiker, yeah, that's the mind game map, right? That's the strategies, the tactics. And then we go to Match Point, which is generally Zerg Aggression, followed by Inner Coven, which is
the weird map where
that's another Terran graveyard map. So that's like if Queen can get up to there, he's doing good. And then of course we're gonna have Polypoid and Escalade. Escalade then Polypoid is the last two. So I think it's really cool because maps 1, 3, and 5 are the kind of weird out there maps.
Right in the middle.
Which has given us a lot of space here where it's like weird map, nice map, weird map, normal map, weird map, normal map, normal map.
Yeah, it's going to be a big shift as we go from game to game here, because you're totally right. Each of these maps requires very different specific play styles. So we're going to have a lot of games that should look like your traditional Terran vs. Zerg high-end ladder game, and then we're going to have games that are going to be completely insane. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen on Hitchhiker.
Yeah, because that's going to be a weird one.
Hitchhiker, while it's still a ground map, it's not like you can do... There's openings you can do there that you literally can't do on any of the other maps we have here.
Yeah, Hitchhiker plays very, very, very differently than all the other maps, but I think TVZ comes down to both the players trying to abuse each other as hard as possible, as quickly as possible. Yeah, that is going to be a weird one to see.
So we're going to be going on to Horizon for map number 1. Terrans do have a hard time pushing and ending Zergs on this map, but there's always ways to play around that. And so I really want to see what kind of tech, what kind of build order we're going to have here from Light. I'm really not sure.
It might have to do with spawn positions as well, because there are spawns that become like 20 times harder for Terran or 20 times easier for Terran. So that's, you know, I think that's the first thing we really have to look at, because, like, let's say they're close by air spawns.
Sure.
That's like a different map than close by ground spawns.
Completely different play style. You can certainly put pressure on them from air attacks, while it's harder for them to push by ground across the map. Now, Light, historically, has made a name for himself off of this matchup.
Yeah, this is his best matchup.
By far.
Just so people are clear on that.
It was actually TVP that he a lot of times would have a hard time with. He's very good at that matchup, but in the last, I would say, maybe 9 or 10 months, he's really come out and managed to have good enough TVP that he can also move through tournaments even when there's a good Protoss opponent in his way.
Well, he's really ascended to be a top 2 Terran.
Yeah, for sure.
And that means he can do everything.
He also seems to have an air of confidence that we don't see as much with some of these pro gamers. He's very comfortable where he is. He seems to be really finding his own way. And we saw that even in the interviews. He's very, very sure of himself, which I think is a good thing. I think it's a sign of a player after you've had that success that you think, okay, I can keep getting this. I can keep doing it.
Yeah.
And especially now that Flash has opted to go for random in the next tournament. I mean,
well, he takes over the Terran throne.
Yeah, he gets to basically.
That's the fact.
He gets to be the new king now. So
yeah, there isn't anyone that you can really put up to him, because Last
if he wins this,
active.
Though, if he wins, we'll see what happens. Queen versus Light, Game 1 in the ASL Finals starts now.
게임 준비 완료. 호라이즌 달기지에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Okay, we've got close by air spawns. So in other words, you can see they're both sharing the bottom right here. We have Terran over here at 6 o'clock. We've got Zerg at 3 o'clock. And there's a lot to unpack right away here. So first of all, we've had several maps where this is a possibility. Of course, the other two spawns would be top center and left center. But because this Overlord that's scouting now is going to find out right away that Light, his main base is very close, assuming that like Zerg tech's in the air, you can do a lot of abuse to the Terran and keep them stuck in their base. And the Terran usually has to push by ground. And so it's going to be a tough mid-game here, I think.
Yeah. So I think when it's these spawns that Terran has no choice, they must go starport units quickly, because it's too far for Goliaths or Marines, which are defending mutas, to walk out of the base and go attack Zerg. So that just kind of puts us into a situation where it has to be Valkyrie or Wraith or Science Vessel, because that is the only way you're going to be able to defend and then attack.
And one thing about Zerg air units, specifically mutas, but Scourge as well, they're just more robust than the Terran air units. The Terran air units can be strong, but they're also very fragile. It goes in theme with what Terran is in general. Their units are strong when grouped together, when you get high enough numbers of them, but alone they're very weak. And so if we get an air-to-air fight, Light will have to play a very, very perfect game.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see, because there's a lot of variation in what you can end up doing here. Now let's see if he goes for the 12 gas. This is the first kind of important thing here.
It looks like he is not.
Okay.
He's going to send the SCV out on the map.
Just a scout. Yeah, no biggie there, but that means he is going to go for an expansion before gas. And normally that goes into bio, but of course Flash did show us that Valkyrie build where you just get the gas right after the command center, basically.
I'm very curious to see if we're going to have Light use Valkyries in this. You know, Valkyries, by the way, have been sort of the black sheep unit of Terran air, for sure. And in the last couple of years, we've seen it used more and more to great efficiency. They're hard to control, but they do a lot of damage when used properly.
Well, Light's Valkyrie control, actually, from the Valks that he has used so far in the tournament is much better than what Flash did against Queen. So that is something to take into consideration. But we're going to have to see. He's going to have to take his gas really quickly if he does want to tech up high. Otherwise, he's going to be on bio, which is trying to play Marine Medic in these positions, I just don't know how that works. I don't understand.
Well, if he does do it, we're going to find out exactly how that does work. Since he'll probably be the best in the entire world at doing that here.
Yeah.
This is 2 hatcheries into layers, so Zerga's going to tech up pretty quickly. We're assuming it's going to be air units. I can't imagine, unless there was a real plot twist in this game 1, that he doesn't just go for air units. If it was something like doing the strategy that's not as good because it's the least expected, which we have had that in tournaments before.
Yeah. That's definitely a valid way to try to play it. By the way, so he sent out another SCV since that one got damaged. He needs to know, of course, what's going on. And he's making a bunker very quickly here. Now, he's gone into the second barracks, which tells us what we were looking for. He's actually opening with a standard Marine Medic opener. And the thing is, it's like you have to look at travel distances, okay? This is really important. So Queen can harass Light's main base and then fly back to defend his natural, and the time between that is so small that just imagine the mutas are harassing the main base and then the Marines leave. And they have to walk all the way around to get to Queen's base. Queen is going to get so much free damage during that time. So either we're going to see some gigantic amount of turrets, maybe Light will just keep his bio at home and try to get into vessels quickly, something like that. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see from Light.
Yeah, as the Zerg, you really get to have your cake and eat it in these positions. By the way, we have these speedlings out here. This is over to contain Terran from scouting any further. And we're going to go right into that mutatech here. So this is the air tech that's going to allow the Zerg to begin to harass and punish the Terran. And behind this, it looks like we're going to have it at the very top right corner of the map here. We're going to have another expansion go down over there. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, the third base going down immediately. Now, will he take that fourth base? I don't think so in this game. Looking at these positions, I think you want to go heavier on the mutas earlier on. But we'll see about that. That's obviously something we talked about quite a bit, being a new part of the metagame.
Okay, so immediately the Zerg is going to come out here with Mutalisks. Now, generally speaking, Terrans don't die to this ever anymore. Like, they don't lose the game, but it does keep pressure on them.
Yeah.
When this opening was first figured out, you see a lot of Terrans just get shredded and eventually knocked out of the game. Now, Terran's going to begin to push out here to try to draw some attention away from the air attack he knows is inevitably coming. There's a scan here. He sees, he knows that those are all Mutalisks in those eggs. And this is a funny little zoning game that we see in TVZ where you want to be out a little bit so that the Zerg has to respect you, but you don't want to go out too far because then you can't get back home and he'll catch your army and kill it.
Yeah, if you lose your frontal army, you're in a lot of trouble if it didn't do good damage. But if you don't have it out there, the Zerg can do whatever they want. If they want to drone, if they want to harass, they just kind of take control a little bit. So you want to be threatening a counterattack. But again, these positions are going to be a little bit hard. So we see Light staying in his base. He did the initial push out, and here he is. He's just getting his turrets up and trying to defend.
And we see Light absolutely respecting the threat here. The mutas can come in, and the angle at which they hit, we see like this. You can a lot of times snipe one Marine that's on the outside, and you're not really losing anything. And so he's going to draw them away over here again. And it looks like he's itching to maybe try to attack it on this side, but it looks like the turrets that have been set up, he probably can't commit too hard to any one location here.
He's just picking off a few SCVs here and there. Like going to go up and throw up another turret there. I actually like that he checked there because that's the furthest point from the main base and the mutas rallying in. So to check there and make sure that Light is not playing extra greedy, that he's actually making turrets in that location is a very nice move.
Okay, again, comes in here and does more damage. And you can see the Terran, this is, okay, now we're getting to illustrate what the situation is here for the Terran. Look, he's not dying to this attack, but how in the world is Terran going to push across the map and attack? Anytime he leaves, these mutas, like we're seeing right here, would fly in and continue to do so much damage, and that would be long before the push could ever reach the Zerg's base.
Yeah, and he's got a full group of mutas here, 11 mutas flying around, just keeping that harassment up. But Light has rushed up with this build as quickly as you can into his starport tech. So we're going to see what his idea is from here.
Oh, this is actually pretty sick. Is he going to the academy?
If he wants it.
Yeah, I don't know if Terran's going to be able to come back and save that. If you lose that, you can't make medics, so it's not a structure you can afford to ever give up. And now the push is going to come out. He's decided he probably has enough back at home Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's going to back up just a little bit. He doesn't want to overcommit. Excuse me.
This was like one of those things we were talking about before where you want the threat of counterattack. And as soon as you start threatening counterattack, that's when the mutas have to fly out and kind of deal with it. Because really, this is what Queen has, is these mutas.
Yeah, that's the only thing
it's
he
him,
has.
his control, and his mutas. That's it. It's like, what else does he have there? He had 6 slings or something. They're mostly dead. Whatever. Those aren't going to do anything to Marine Medic anyways.
Yeah, his base back at home is completely naked, so you need to keep the pressure on here. And he's doing a great job so far. Actually, Light, really good control, baiting more of those Mutalisks in there and then picking off one. Now,
this is the most confident build order I've ever seen, man. This
from
is,
Terran?
Yeah, no, this is just the standard build. Tasteless, I do this 10 times a day, this exact build order from Light, but not on this map, not in these positions. He has no problem, though. He's moving forward with the most standard play.
Yeah, he's basically saying he'll just power through this difficult part to the game and get ahead anyways, which is pretty ambitious, by the way. And we're at the point now, this is more than one control group, correct? Yeah, this is now 2 control groups of Mutalisks.
Yeah, he's moving 2 groups around. It's not 2 full groups, but...
Yeah, it's like a group and a half or something. So probably like 20 Mutalisks or something like that.
Oh, okay, well, it's actually taking engagement right there. Does lose quite a few mutas.
It's starting to get pretty messy here in the Terran space. Now, notice he destroyed those turrets, and this means that for the time being, it's impossible for Light to leave his base again. He's going to have to use his infantry to try to fight this.
And this is buying time for his lurkers. We saw that Hydralisk den go down before.
Oh my god, he's got even more coming in here.
Yeah.
He has a second group, he's going to come in here. Terran probably confident he could hold it off with this. I think this might snowball.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a lot of mutas now.
By the way, Light is on the brink of losing complete control of this game. This is like just enough mutas coming in here and killing everything that I don't know that he's going to be able to survive this.
Well, this is what I was talking about at the beginning, where this build is like, why are you doing this here? This is very, very difficult. Looks like he doesn't have Irradiate mana ready as of yet. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Is he just going to come through? Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the mutas can fight that.
Yeah, this is the funny thing, is there's a point in time where you've killed enough stuff that suddenly these are no longer units that you use guerrilla tactics with. You just come in here and start killing everything and holding your ground. In about 10 seconds, we're going to have enough energy for that Irradiate, which he has to do perfectly, or this is only going to get worse, because now the mutant... Okay, he just taps out. He taps out immediately. GG.
Well,
Queen. I mean, that was an example of you know, what can happen in certain positions that you start out in and how to exploit that. And on some level, Light wasn't really respecting the inherent advantages that Queen was going to try to utilize there.
I thought Light was going to show everyone that I don't know what I'm talking about and that I'm stupid and that this is Terran can do whatever they want, but that was not the case. Queen tore him apart right there when Light tried to play the normal way that he likes to play this matchup.
Yeah.
Like, this is the very, very standard way that every Terran should know how to do and know how to play. And he tried it. And, I mean, all of his Marines are in there. He has turrets. He's chasing the mutas around, and he just could not hold. You have to do a different build on this map in those spots.
That could not have been more of a straightforward game. I love the part where he had the second wave of mutas come in. It looked like Light had enough to hold it, and then more mutas came in, and it was just too much, and that was the killing blow. We're going to go to a short break. We come back, game number 2 in the ASL Finals.
시즌9으로 돌아온 ASL. 어느 때보다도 많은 이슈들과 함께했는데요. 최고의 선수들과 역대급 명경기들이 함께하며 화제가 됐던 이번 시즌. 숨가쁘게 달려온 2달간의 이야기를 살펴볼까요? 시즌9 화제의 매치. 이몽규 대 윤수철. 이것이 데칼코마니? 풍성한 수염이 빼닮았던 두 선수의 대결은 일명 산정록으로 불리며 구마적, 신마적 등의 드립을 폭발시켰죠. 24강, 16강에서는 연속해서 가장록이 펼쳐졌죠. 송병구, 이몽규 선수가 아버지의 이름으로 맞붙었습니다. 결과는 3승 1패, 준우 아버지의 승! 그룹 단위로 화제가 됐던 16강도 있죠. 탑시드의 막강한 권한으로 윤찬희, 이재호, 황병영 선수를 A조에 데려오는 데 성공하면서 4테란조를 완성시킨 이영호 선수. 1박 2일 각이다. 중계진 혹사, 치킨은 언제 시키면 되나요? 많은 분들이 4테란조 장기전에 대한 걱정 아닌 걱정을 했지만 결과는 이영호 선수의 10분 컷 질주로 단 3시간 만에 16강 통틀어 가장 빨리 끝난 A조. 1위로 진출한 이영호 선수가 귀가해서 자신의 조를 중계하는 재밌는 장면도 연출됐었죠. 4테란조만큼 화제가 된 조가 하나 더 있었습니다. 바로 전원 ASL 4강 커리어를 보유한 선수들로 채워진 죽음의 데스, D조인데요. 조기석, 김태경, 김명훈, 도재우. 와, 다시 봐도 엄청난 선수들이 함께했네요. 이 죽음의 조에서는 김명훈 선수가 엄청난 경기력과 그 특유의 얄미운 웃음을 마음껏 뽐냈고요. 김태경 선수는 피를 말리는 줄달기 끝에 2위로 8강 진출을 이뤄냈습니다. 이현경의 금손이남 8강 전경기 풀세트. 16강이 마무리되고 저의 손끝에서 완성된 4개의 대진. 8강 조 추첨을 지켜보던 선수들의 반응은 다양했습니다.
성경이 누나, 사랑해요.
이거 나만 잘하면 결승 갈 수도 있겠는데?
사랑해 보자. 우리야.
상현이랑 짭제랑 하면 괜찮을 것 같아요.
됐네. 경기의 뚜껑을 열어본 결과는 어느 하나 쉬운 경기가 없다. 전 경기 3대2 피를 말리는 대접전. ASL 최초로 8강의 모든 경기가 풀세트로 흘러가는 치열한 승부에 시청자 여러분도 정말 많이 열광해 주셨습니다. 이번 시즌 저 한 건 했죠? 예언이 되다? ASL의 시즌 부제들. 시즌5부터 ASL에는 시즌별 부제가 달리기 시작했는데요. 3회 연속 우승 이영호의 독재를 끝내는 프로토스의 턴, 시즌5 턴어라운드. 불사조의 부활을 알렸던 8년 전 결승의 리매치, 시즌6 The Time is Now. 틀을 깨고 한계에 도전하라, 김성현, 변현재의 결실, 시즌7 Break the Frame. 그리고 역대 스타리그 최초의 4회 우승이 등장한 시즌8 익스펜션까지. 마치 예언처럼 부제에 맞춰 시즌이 흘러갔습니다. 이번 시즌9의 부제는 다시 새롭게 만든다는 의미의 리프레션. 황병영, 박지수, 김지성 등 ASL에는 처음 얼굴을 비춘 전 프로 선수들부터 5시즌 만에 다시 보는 후군장 이성은, 군복무를 마치고 돌아온 반가운 이름 김태경. 여기에 완전 뉴페이스 윤수철, 원지훈, 유진우 선수도 본선에 진출했죠. 부신 송경훈 선수는 빠른 무한식 플레이를 선보이며 센세이션을 일으켰고, 이제는 저그 강자의 한 축이 된 신성, 박상현 선수는 단숨에 시드까지 획득. 거기에 김명훈, 이재호라는 ASL의 새로운 결승 진출자들까지. 완벽하게 새로운 흐름으로 흘러간 시즌이었습니다. 그렇다면 ASL 시즌9 리프레션. 3,229일 만에 복수에 성공하고 결승에 오른 김명훈과 만개한 저그전 스페셜리스트 이재호. 그 두 선수의 뜨거운 승부가 계속 이어집니다.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
짠짠이 맛칠성 사이다, 정당이 맛칠성 사이다, 70년의 사이다, 칠성 사이다. 우리 입맛엔 칠성 사이다가 좋아요.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
뭐야?
오빠가 맞춰.
하식스잖아.
그냥 하식스가 아니야. 하식스 더킹이라고.
뭐야, 색깔이 하나 더 있네, 릴리야?
하식스 더킹 펀치야.
이거 무슨 맛인데? 뭐 과일 맛 나는 거야, 이거?
이건 열대 과일 맛이 나서 여자들이 굉장히 좋아한다고.
이 과일 맛 나면서 되게 상큼한데?
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
ASL 시즌 9 리프레션 파이널.
Inside you're excavating the source code that's
An interesting stat for you guys. In the past, whoever's won the first map in ASL always wins the championship.
Well, Horizon is broken, so I'm not buying this crap. Light can still do this. Okay, so really, we were talking about it during the break. I think what we're going to see is something crazy on Intercoven from Light, 8 racks on Hitchhiker, and 8 racks on Escalade. Other than that, I think he's going to do the exact same bio build on every other map. The same opener that we just saw, because if he did it on Horizon...
Of all the maps to do that build on?
When the Overlord gets to your base before you start your barracks, so you see the Overlord on 10 supply, and then you do that build, it's like, if there was a map where you were going to do something different, it was Horizon. So I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, Light is just going to rely on his pure macro and his decision-making with that, with a single build order. I'm excited about that, though, Tasteless.
Neo Sylphid will be map number 2, and that's ready to start right now. Queen vs. Light continues on in the ASL finals.
시즌 9 게임 준비 완료. 네오실 PD에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Queen is over on that right side, and Light over on the left.
Now, this is a 3-player map. This allows for, in pretty much all the matchups, so many different openers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to play it. I am now waiting to see if Light is going to do what you were talking about, Artosis, and maybe go for the same type of build over and over and over here.
I think that is really going to be the case. It's either he said, you know what, nothing works on Horizon, so let me just do this, or he's thinking to himself that he's so good at this style of play, which he is, that he's just going to do it all the time. So, I mean, we'll see very quickly, you know. Basically, by 13 supply, you have a very good idea of what Terran's up to.
Okay. Queen here, though. I think we also want to see, like, okay, what kind of style is Queen going to bring? Because he doesn't have to do that at all, what he did in the first game.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
I would love to see the Ultra build. We did have that incredible play where people, where Zerg went for Queens with Ensnare, gooped the Marines, and then the Ultras came in an incredible killing blow.
Yeah, it's a very popular build. In fact, Nyokin recently cast a series between these two from a few weeks ago, where Queen used the build in an earlier stage, the same build against Light. So it's something that I'm not sure exactly who invented it, but it is popular right now, man. I am getting ensnared on the ladder, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. No, that was an earthquake. Build order, meta-changing stuff that happened on the ladder.
Yeah.
Now, this time around, looks like we're going to have a quick layer tech here on 2 hatches. Probably into Muta. Now, what I want to see is, are we going to have the 4-hatch play that we've seen before here? Yeah. Maybe Zerg making 4 to 5 Mutalisks, controlling the map, and then teching into lurkers.
You know, I think it's more likely to see the Ultralisk style here. I would say especially based on the positions. Taking 4 bases in these spots might be a little bit harder for Zerg. I'm kind of looking at maybe the Ultralisk build with 3 o'clock as his new expansion. But we'll see about that coming up. That layer is going to be starting in just a moment here. Light going for the very quick barracks expand. Command center on 15 supply. It's about as quick as you can get it.
Yeah, Light wants to go into a macro game here. Usually he just overpowers a Zerg. He just kind of pushes out and boxes a Zerg back and stems forward and kills him.
And here, you know, he's gone into second barracks right away. This is all kind of what his build looks like.
Yeah.
You know, it looks exactly the same. You can't really vary it right here. With the first variations that we can see with this type of build order is, do you put up the third barracks or the factory first?
Yeah.
Everything other than that is kind of already written in stone.
Yeah.
It's like these are the things you must do so that you have a chance to win the game. So he's getting that gas. He'll probably throw down a bunker very, very quickly here. He's already sent the SCVs up.
Yeah, he's going to chase
there
this.
it is, yeah.
Chase this SCV back, and we'll probably have a little bit of a slow game for starts here. I don't think Zerg's going to do anything crazy.
No, I don't think so.
Unless we see an explosion of Lings come out, and I just can't imagine Queen doing that.
Oh, he might try to run by here.
I stand completely corrected.
Yeah.
I did not anticipate him to try to run through, but we saw Ling speed finish. That was timed out so that Ling speed finished as the Lings were there.
Yeah.
And so then suddenly these Lings come into the main. Now, this is a great play here by Queen.
Yeah, this is really strong against something like this because you're very low on Marines when you go for the 15 command center as opposed to 19. So he's kind of abusing that right now. There's a lot of lost mining time going down for light, and that is a problem.
Oh my God, and more Lings are coming. He's going to go for a crazy... You know, I was saying just before, I don't think he's going to do this, but he absolutely is. This is very difficult for the Terran to control here. Lings are so much stronger than Marines if they can actually get close to the Marines. The only thing that really protects the Marines themselves is the SCVs.
Yeah, light right now, this looks like he's dead to me. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, see,
if this is me playing Terran, I'm gone.
Me as well. This is just, I mean, the Spire is still on the way. Obviously, it's very low drone counts for Queen, but there's no Marines left over, so he just keeps making Lings.
Yeah, and the bunker does not have any Marines in it right now, and so the Lings can freely come in here. And I don't see any moment where the Lings are going to stop except when it's time to make Mutalisks, which could be another way to just have a killing blow come in here.
Tell you, this is one of the things that can go wrong if you do not get your SCV block out there and you let these Lings in when you've done such a greedy expansion. Things go poorly. Oh my God, the Marines getting caught here.
By the way, this is really going to catch Light off guard when Light was talking about how predictable his opponent is here.
Well, the predictable one truly is Light at this point.
Yeah, no kidding. He's playing very textbook. Now, Firebats are a little bit better than Marines against Lings, but not as good as one would think they are.
Also, the Spire's done, so if he flies in with like 2 to 3 mutas, the game should pretty much end. Light does not even have money for turrets.
We're seconds from ending this, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think these mutas are going to come in here, and that's going to be...
Look, he's targeting Lings as well. There's no anti-air.
Yeah.
Just, how are you going to stop these mutas?
That's it.
Even just 2.
Oh my God, look how upset Light is. GG.
Well, he's playing the style that he always plays. He's playing a greedy version of it on this map, at least.
Yeah.
Well, on Horizon, it was a little bit greedy, but I think that was fine. But when you basically, guys, there's 2 different ways to go expansion when you're going for a Marine Medic opener, and one is before your second supply depot. And that one involves having no Marines when you make it, and then also skipping Marines for a bit to get your production going and getting more supply depots. The other one is to get your second supply depot and making it a little bit later where you actually have some Marines, you have some flow of Marines.
Yeah.
You know, the mid-game can be a little bit stronger with the one Light did, but you're playing greedy, and things like this can happen to you.
Look at Light right now. We just switched cameras,
Yeah,
but he looked very upset. I mean, game one was Game one was like an educational lesson on Terran versus Zerg for both sides. Here's what Zerg can do to Terran when you spawn close by air.
Yeah.
And watch out for this. You know, Terran players and Zerg players try to do this, but game 2 was down and dirty, perfectly disguised cheese. Any fast expanding player has to be ready.
You have to be ready
for the Lings.
Yeah,
and Protoss have it as well. The Lings get by the cannon, and oh God, you're going to be in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, as soon as you run by that bunker. Like, the thing is, you have to unload your Marines to go chase, but if they make any more to come in, suddenly you have nothing at the front. More Lings just continue to roll in. In a situation like that, realistically, you should probably pull the SCVs from your natural, block your choke, so that more Lings can't join, clean everything, and then try to get your expansion back online before the mutas get there.
Yeah.
Every single time I've ever seen anyone try to deal with it like Light has, it does not go well.
This is scary for Light here because those 2 games were like, for as complex of the games that we've had leading up to this finals, that was both these games are so straightforward. This is like intro to StarCraft. Intro to Terran versus Zerg.
Yeah.
Intro to things Zergs can do to easily beat a
Well,
Terran. And
map 1, why you have to have more than one build order. Map 2, this is a greedy play. Here's one of the ways that people try to punish it.
If you're expanding like this, watch out for A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And that was A.
That
was A.
It
It's
was simply A.
Well, for one, speedlings could kill you.
You had the bunker, which was
Never mind
but
B and C. We only need one alphabet letter here.
My God.
And
you know what? I think the speed upgrade might have been a little bit quick. I wasn't paying 100% attention to the timing of the gas.
I think what happened...
His layer was made on time, though, and then the speed came quickly enough, because it takes, right, after the layer starts, so the gas must have finished.
I think the Ling speed, if I saw correctly, finished right when the Lings got in front of the base. So you see Slowlings moving across, which you always have, by the way. You always have Slowlings coming out there to stop SCVs from coming out. Yeah. And then Ling speed finishes, and he just runs right by the bunker.
Well, there's multiple times you can take your geyser in Zerg vs. Terran. And if they do not scout you right away, and on this map, most Terrans, because it's a 3-player map, scout a little bit later, because you don't need to scout that early. You can find them very quickly. Yeah, it's a smart way to do it. But I think maybe he just got his gas slightly earlier there, because it takes a little bit over a minute, 63 seconds to get Zergling speed.
Yeah.
And it takes 20 seconds to mine 100 gas. So when you look at that, it's like, I think his attack hit a little bit earlier than what Light was anticipating. Because you know that after layer, most Zergs are getting Zergling speed.
Right.
But yeah, he was completely unready for it.
You know, there's a chance this is not close. If Light keeps playing like he is right now, I mean, Queen could continue to bop him.
Well,
and bopping is exactly what we've been seeing here.
He will not play, like I said, this build I think we're going to see on most maps, but the next map is going to be Hitchhiker. Okay. And this is not a build that you can see on this map.
No,
because Marine Medic literally can't walk across the map without support.
Right, right. We have seen bunker rushes on this map. If we go into late game, it's going to be fascinating to see what these two players can create as far as the game goes.
Light in particular, I mean, if he's staying with his regular style, on Hitchhiker, he likes to go 8 barracks into a science vessel rush. So that's some marine pressure, maybe a bunker rush if the situation is correct, some vulture harassment if possible, but getting up into those science vessels and going into Marine Medic science vessel. That is how he generally plays the map.
All right, we are ready to start Game 3 on Hitchhiker. Queen with a 2-0 lead versus Light in the ASL Season 9 Finals.
시즌 9. 게임 준비 완료. 히치하이커에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So we have Zerg in the bottom right, and we have Terran in the upper left. And a couple things just to explain the map immediately. There is a long valley that connects the two starting locations on low ground. And then you have access to about 40% of the map via your main. There are some structures you have to destroy, but it's all manageable. And so third base and fourth base especially, play becomes very, very unique and odd. And I wouldn't mind, I would certainly welcome a long TVZ here.
Oh, I would love to see a long one. It's just, you never ever do. Generally, this one it's played kind of quickly. Like, Terran has some opportunities to do damage with vultures early on, and then basically hit some critical mass of anti-mutalistic technology and kill their opponent. That is generally how it goes. Now look, this is, well, it's a 9 racks, but 8 racks, 9 racks, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is exactly, like, I watch Light stream all the time, man. So I feel like I already know exactly what every game is going to look like from him. This is what he does here. He does this into quick factory, quick starport, gets into science vessels, Marine Medic science vessel.
Yeah, I got a question just because I'm, Protoss, I don't know the nuances of early game in this matchup. What if you just 4-pool or 5-pool?
Well, those builds are really, really terrible. And if your opponent's doing anything normal at all, like the barracks is in the main base, you're probably just going to lose. Like if you do a 4-pool or a 5-pool.
But what I'm asking is, what happens if you're doing this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is so if you are doing a 4-pool or a 5-pool against this, maybe you win that, because generally against a 4-pool or 5-pool, as long as the barracks is in the main base somewhere, you can pull almost all your SCVs, and all you need to do is escort a Marine back to your mineral line, and you win the game.
Really? Okay.
That is it. Like, they can actually kill, like, 6 or 7 of your SCVs, no problem. You're going to win that game. And that's why we, like, never see that build, basically. But, yeah, in this situation, I could see that ruining it.
Just something I was wondering, because I also expected Light to do something like this. And I just thought, you know, when you get a lead like this, you are allowed to do some kind of cheesy stuff and take some risks and maybe, you know, get even further ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so Light's going to be getting the factory right now. He's also starting the rush. This is not a rush that necessarily will kill, you know, your opponent. It won't necessarily kill the hatchery. But they do have to pull drones, and if you can kill a couple of them, you are in the green.
Okay, so Light being pretty cautious here. By the way, the SCV is picked off. Great drone control.
This is kind of funny to watch, right? Like, he's meaningfully not overcommitting with this. He didn't bring any extra SCVs. He never even started a bunker. He's just poking. He made him lose some mining time. He made him make some Zerglings. That's really all Light was looking for there.
Now, the factory coming up next is an important moment here. He's going to float that. Is that correct?
Yes.
You know, the Marines force out the Zerglings, but the Vultures can then beat the Zerglings. So it's a pretty good...
What he'll do right now is he should just be making Marines and holding his ramp with that. Then you float the factory over and just start making Vultures and rally them towards the Zerg base. And he's going to have to, like, make a sunken colony or possibly get Hydras out or get a lucky Ling surround, something like that. Now, see, Light is skimping, man. Oh, he actually makes... Okay, yeah, I think this is just a defensive Vulture.
Right.
Because he's a little bit nervous. Okay, shows that he has a Vulture. And there we go, the float over. Now, it takes so long to build something on this side because, as you said, there's a lot of destructible buildings out on the map. It's a very zigzaggy pattern. It's going to take him a long time to get a Vulture to the Zerg main. So this is not immediate danger like we saw with the Flash game, where the factory floated to a different location that was much closer.
Factory is spotted, by the way, by this one Zergling, so he knows exactly when and where the Vultures are going to be coming from. Anytime you're doing one base play as Terran, you have to be very, very careful because everything is really so delicate. Modern RTS theory would always tell us we pretty much need a second base always. So he's going to have to do a really solid play to navigate this to a second base. But there's a lot of tactics this also offers to the Terran.
Yeah, this is like, you can play pretty heavily on one base in Terran vs. Zerg if you've rushed up like this, where you've already put some pressure on your opponent. They haven't been able to just drone as much as they want. You're threatening to get kills, right? We've already had a sunken. We've already had lost mining time on drones. We've already had Zerglings made. And now he's keeping that pressure on with a Wraith and a Vulture. So we'll see how quickly Light wants to get his expansion up. Because there is the possibility he just goes into like 3 barracks, maybe gets an add-on for a siege tank, and does something very heavily on one base.
Here comes that Wraith now. Notice the Hydras are coming down there to try to defend. This could give him an opening to kill this Overlord. Again, especially in a game like this as a Zerg, you start to lose 1 or 2 things too early, and things spiral out of control. This is all happening as Aspire's close to finishing. He needs that supply in order to get Mutalisks out.
Look at that. I love the position here. He actually flies around and gets that Overlord. That's a nice, nice kill. The Hydra's out of position here for a moment.
Yeah, a little sloppy there by Queen. But he should have 6 mutas making, correct?
Yeah, he should have some mutas on the way as soon as that Spire is done. And you see Light is starting to defend against this as well, getting a Radiate already, throwing down his missile turrets, making a bunker at the front as well. You can't be 100% sure, right? Like this could be like even Lurker at this point. This is why he's playing very carefully.
Well, another kill here on these Overlords. Queen is in the red more often than he's in the black here as far as supply goes.
Okay, so he's actually run away with his Vultures now. The Mutalisks have to fan out and find those. And a beautiful fan. He actually finds it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
The Vulture on the left side. This Vulture entering the right side of the map. The turret's going up. It looks like he has plenty of defense, and he should have his Irradiate coming right up. And that means the Mutas are not really going to be able to find damage.
So we have that Science Vessel out now, and Irradiate should be done. And so this is the moment where Terran, particularly with the Science Vessel versus Mutas, that's where the Terran can assert himself against the Mutas. I mean, the Irradiate is such a strong spell to have against them. But we will eventually have to have another base up here for Light.
Yeah, unless he wants to try and like
think he
kill
could just
him.
push?
Sometimes you can do that. Like when you start getting 2-3 vessels out, and notice he's getting his +1. His Academy just finished up, so he should be getting his stim in range, or it's about to finish up rather. You can play on one base for a while here. You have to keep some pressure on your opponent, but it's not super easy for Zerg to just, you know, defend against all of this and take another base and just like grow super big.
So this is getting to the point now where Zerg is going to have to tech past Mutalisks here. Are we going to have... Oh, great catch there on that Wraith, by the way. That's good. We actually have an SCV coming out here to try to scout, but so far Queen's had great control overall in this game. Again, if Queen wins here, it's a 3-0 lead. Almost unimaginable to see, to think of Light coming back and winning 4 games in a row against Queen.
Yeah, I think it's still a difficult victory for Queen, right? Like, I think Light has basically gotten what he wanted in this game so far. The Vultures didn't really do very much, but he's getting right into the tech he wants. He's hitting his Irradiates, and I can't imagine him losing any vessels or anything.
Every Marine that's lost is pretty significant because Terran is on one base. Yep. It's very, very tricky to play in this moment. When the Lurkers come out as well, it'll be hard for the Terran to push through the valley, that is for sure. You can pretty much control any bottleneck very easily with Lurkers.
Yeah, if they're going Lurker, you kind of need to get into Siege Tank from there. I'm not sure what this game is going to end up looking like. I feel like if Light makes a command center, suddenly this game is going to go long.
Sure. Well, it looks like he's going to push out now. Is he not going to make a CC? This is a very specific timing. You have to make this work right away, and these Lurkers certainly do not need to be killing that temple if this is where Terran's going to hit right now.
Yeah, his Overlord is about to see that. He tries to snipe that off, but yeah, the units should go towards the natural at this point. Okay, the Muta's going off the side. Now the Science Vessels give them the support they need that they can actually get through here. Otherwise, the Mutalisks would just be picking off Marines and Medics from the high ground relentlessly.
You have to respect the presence of those vessels here. Oh my God! Okay, he saves the vessel. Great job. Another Irradiate. He needs to split this very carefully. Ooh, not the best control.
You know what? These Irradiates have been good.
I love the SCV on the high ground.
But he can't break the natural now.
No,
there will be too many Lurkers, and he doesn't have Irradiates for them. We got 2 stacked ones, a few extras, a bunch of Lurkers being made on the side here. Queen's Nest coming up. Yeah, Light should not be able to really do too much. Wait, everything went into the main base.
Where?
2 Lurkers, you can split and maybe
Why
do
are
something.
we having this many Lurkers up here?
He's just trying to go kill him.
Is he really just that confident? I guess so. Okay, a dropship comes. Now, this army is a real threat. The Zerg army here, he can move out here and do an insane amount of damage. He's going to tear his way through these structures, and there's not much else in the way here.
Okay, as long as Light just saw that many Lurker spines on this side of the map. Oh my God, look at this. He's actually just going to elevator up to the high ground. But I feel like the Lurkers still can move around and defend there. Light needs to take this very seriously.
Yeah, this threat from the Zerg is far superior to what the Terran can offer here. And it's going to take a while to actually elevator the rest of that army there. There's only one bunker up here at just above. Yeah, there it is right now, and I don't believe it's loaded. There we go. He has the Marines. But, I mean, this is enough Lurkers. You can blow this up, no problem.
Yeah, you certainly can. I mean, it was cost-efficient for a second there. Continues to be. I guess he has another bunker. He has a siege tank. He's walking home.
The way the buildings are set up as well, it actually is not as open and naked as I would have initially said.
All right, Irradiate's the Lurker that's running towards the mineral line, so that's very, very important. And, I mean, these Lurkers, did they end up doing very much?
No, I really thought this was going to do a lot more damage. And now, I'm really surprised.
And now Light, I mean, this is nice. This is very nice because when you go one base, you cut some SCVs a little bit more. So you're actually a little bit light on that. But Light right now has the potential to maybe clear out this gas, which is going to be very nice for him.
Very quick reaction time there by Queen, setting this one injured lurker back here. We're in an awkward spot where both parties have dominance over the high ground area of the natural, making this game incredibly scrappy.
Scourge just patrolling around right now. They want to catch science vessels. The science vessels are really the key to Light's strategy here. If he were to pick them off, that would be gigantic. Looks like this will finally get cleaned up. I think we have a bad rally point, by the way. A Marine just got killed by that sunken on the low ground.
Yeah, this will happen when you're hockeying your armies and you had your barracks hockeyed somewhere like 4 or 5 or 6 down the line.
Yeah,
and you'll be trying to right-click to move stuff, and then you end up extending the hotkey input, and then you end up a barracks rallied somewhere it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, that definitely can occur a number of ways, truly, based on your hotkey layout, but he's got to be careful about that. That would be like a third of his Marines going to their deaths. I don't see another one rallying in, so maybe he has it fixed at this point. But dropping some more Marines onto this high ground, seeing if he can do some more harassment. Don't forget, though, Queen did take a third base. But it's 2 gas against 3 gas right now.
Yeah.
So it's still doable here for Light.
You say 3 gas, but
yeah, no,
he pops that off. That's a pretty big deal. And in the same area that the Zerg opened up, Terran is now going to push across over here.
Yeah, Light going to go ahead and use up some of these irradiates against the lurkers.
Yeah,
getting a lot of value. And I like this for Light. I really do. Even though we have some decent upgrades coming in for Queen, you know, he's had that evolution chamber for a bit. He's getting into the Defiler Mound. Those are really powerful and important things. But Light has retained his vessel count. That is #1. He's secured his gas. I'm sure his upgrades are going very nicely right now. Like, he has to have +2 attack on the way. That's good stuff. He's killed a lot of lurkers, too.
Yeah, this is kind of taking a funny twist here because now most of the attention, I think, in this game is probably going to be focused on this upper right platform. I mean, really, it's going to be about trying to push into the Zerg's third. And this isn't a third where Zerg can turtle it. This is actually a pretty open, vulnerable location.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, it's about as pushable as this is kind of the Terran's dream base to push here.
It's so easy to kill this base, truly. I'm surprised he even really took it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe he thought his Ling Lurker play was going to do a lot more than it did. Unfortunately for Queen, though, Light right now is lapping him. This looks very good for our Terran player.
Yeah. And this is probably, if I had to guess right now, I think this is probably going to go to Terran's favor. Zerg can try to come in here and fight this, but this is a pretty just difficult area to break into physically with your army. I mean, you're going to eat a lot of siege tank shots. You're going to get stimmed down by many Marines.
Defiler coming in, so trying to save everything, but you know, this is not that big a deal for Terran.
I'll tell you what, though, man, this is not bad. He is going to drive, I think, a lot of this back.
Yep, he did lose the hatchery, though, right? And we are seeing irradiate after irradiate after irradiate come down, and this is the value-generating machine of Light.
Yeah.
He is getting so much of the gas gone, and don't forget, he killed this gas off, so that cost a bunch of gas, and he's irradiated countless mutas, lurkers, and now defilers. And his siege tanks are still gaining value as well here. Like, Light is looking like this game is almost over.
Yeah,
he's almost won it.
He's really tightening the noose here. This is just beautiful. Terran is, I should say, Zerg is actually so stretched thin here. And look at this. As Zerg's trying to reclaim this area, he's going to be able to come down here and just punish so heavily.
Yeah, he's killing Queen absolutely everywhere. Queen is trying to pull something together, but at this point, the vessel count just feels so strong in this game. And look at this, 2-1 upgrades for Light as well. He's in beast mode right now.
I almost think we're at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just very hard to imagine. Now, Zerg can survive for a long time, but I just don't see a route that can really be taken here by the Zerg. The Zerg is having to expand through pushes at this point in time.
Yeah, and look at this. Everything he walks up with either gets splattered by siege tanks or irradiated.
Yeah, even keeping that tank alive, by the way. Wow.
Yeah, this is not a position that Queen should be able to come back from. He has Defiler tech, so he can kind of still play the game.
Right.
Because Defilers do have a lot of power, but, you know, maybe if he had reduced the vessel count earlier on, if he had killed the first 2 vessels, yeah, this could have been a doable game.
It's
But
funny
right now,
because-
even losing that vessel, it doesn't matter as much at this point because Light's already gotten so much done with them.
By the way, if we can go back for a little bit here, that attack from the Zerg at the top of the map that looked so strong, if you look at the way that Light placed his buildings, it was much more of a narrow area to attack into. If you look at the map before they start to place buildings, it looks like a very open, exposed location, but really, he created a very narrow corridor where it was pretty much impossible to push through. And that was the one moment we thought Zerg might actually just take the game. Another Dark Swarm here.
Yeah, and he's actually just even using Fire Bats Killer at this point, so that
Or he
shows
says,
you the
want
type
to
of
fight me here? No problem.
Yeah.
And we're getting, I think, to the killing blow.
Yeah.
Because now Terran is going to be where all the tech buildings are. You rarely see a Zerg die by a push into the main, but this is a map that allows for that.
I've never even seen it here, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, he taps out. GG. And now it is our first Terran win. Queen with a 2-1 lead still.
Yeah.
But we've got ourselves a series.
Yes, we certainly do. And Light playing that map kind of as expected. A very important win for him because those first 2 games were kind of a little bit dumpster fiery.
A little bit dumpster fiery?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
It was, well, someone had some kindling that they threw out in the wrong place, Tasteless, and it caught on fire, and, a little bit.
A little bit.
Call the fire station. It wasn't looking too good.
Look, I think that game is going to be a big relief for all Light fans, but that map is kind of a standalone map.
Yeah, it's very different.
You're not going to take the victories there and be able to implement them in your next games. You can only use that as a score.
Hitchhiker is like, it speaks for itself. It's like, oh, what weird happened? Was it on Hitchhiker? Okay, now I understand. But yeah, that is the weird one. Now, that being said, our next map going to be Match Point. That is a map that Zerg generally plays very aggressively on, but is generally considered pretty good for Terran.
Yeah, well, we're going to need Terran to win here, or it's, if you get up a 3-1 lead, again, so hard to win every game from there on out.
Especially with Inner Coven still coming.
Yeah.
That's a map that we've seen only one Terran victory against Zerg, and it shouldn't have happened.
Very true. We're going to a short break. When we return, game number 4 with Queen versus Light in the ASL Finals.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
마법의 음료 하식스를 마시게 되면은 엔돌핀이 확 돌면서 머리에 수분이 공급되고 그리고 뇌가 바로바로 한 모금만 마셔도 뭔가 알 거야. 100ml 더 늘어나고 마시게 되면 진짜 마법의 음료. 신제품 빨강색.
반칙 아닙니까? 그것은 전설의 음료 하식스.
올 때 하식스 많이 마시자. 진짜 괜찮지?
맛있다 이거.
파랑색, 빨강색 맛 여러분들 많이들 진짜 마셔주시고 진짜로 거짓말 안 치고 맛있습니다.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
너무 많이 마셨다.
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
ASL 시즌 9 리프레쉬 파이널.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here at the ASL Finals, and we've just had a Terran win. Thank God, because if Light did not take one game, I think there would be just too much momentum here for Queen.
Yeah, that is certainly true. In fact, it really feels like he has to take the next game as well to make this a real series at this point. First two games, a lot of stuff went wrong for Light, whereas the third game, he kind of, overall, I would say he dictated that game, took control of it, played it well. Zero went a little bit all in. It didn't really work out for him, and Light punished.
That map, though, is exceptional in that you can't take a win there and then implement that style of play into the next match, which is going to be on match point.
Yeah, match point is a very small map, is a two-player map, yes, but it plays quite differently. Normally, Zergs play aggressively here.
Right.
It's definitely something Zero can do. This is one of the maps that we did see that 4-base play on. I'm not sure if we're going to see that. I feel like Light's timings might be sharp enough to deal with that.
I want to see if we're going to have the same build that we saw in game 1 and 2 here from Light.
Yes.
It's like his bread and butter.
Yeah.
But if he goes for this, I mean, Queen is really showing quite a wide range of Zerg play. Let's not forget that in game 2, Queen just almost sucker punched Light.
Yeah.
in that, Light was setting up for a normal game, and Queen just rushed in there, and things spiraled out of control very quickly. Now, I think this is a map that Queen could probably try to play a heavy control game, try to limit movement from the Terran. In this matchup, generally speaking, unless one side is really trying to all in the other, usually it's a Zerg trying to grow, or I should say outgrow the Terran, and control the push and limit the progress. And it's Terran really trying to come out and shut the Zerg down.
This map, I feel like it's a very aggressive map for Zerg, because if you look at it, you can definitely get 3 gases. The 4th gas, that is a tough one.
And a 4th gas.
Your 4th gas is so far away and so easily attackable that it seems nearly impossible. And 4 gases is what you need for full Zerg tech. There's builds for 3 gases like Ultralisk Rushes, but if you want to play a full game of Zerg vs. Terran, that 4th gas is going to be needed at some point.
Now, what exactly will Queen do this time around? Just because he can play a control game doesn't mean he wouldn't do some kind of crazy all in as well. Let's watch for that. Game 4 is ready. Let's go.
게임 준비 완료. 매치 포인트에서 게임을 시작합니다.
okay, we've got Queen in the upper right and Light in the bottom left. It's a one-on-one map, so they already know each other's spawns, but I don't think we're going to have any kind of unique all-in that can only be done on a map where you know each other's spawns. I don't imagine that would happen at all here.
No.
The center of the map can be a tough one for Terran to navigate. If this does go into a standard TVZ, what we're watching a lot of times is can the Terran get across the map to actually try to fight the Zerg where the Zerg's bases are. But you have to be ready for so many different things, such as counterattacks, flanks, all of that. And so if Light does the opening we've seen in Game 1 and 2, and that really is, like if you're trying to learn the game, you can copy what Light started with in Game 1 and 2 and have a lot of success.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of Terran Pursuit.
Right.
It can deal with every single build in the entire game.
And I think this really exemplifies the kind of player that Light is. You know, some players will have an insanely different build in each game to try to stay ahead, but one of the features of Light as a player is you can kind of know what he's going to do, and he'll beat you anyways.
Yes, that is
He's
very true.
mechanically very strong. He's very on top of all of the moving parts of the game. And it's usually hard to get ahead of him. It's why we're both, Artosis and I, are a little bit surprised by how Game 1 and 2 went. As Queen just looked at what he did and then just bloodied his nose. You know, I just punched him right in the face. I mean, he just came in there and did so much damage so quickly. But we got to see what Light really looked like in Game 3, where he did manage to win. The problem is that the architecture of that map is unique, and you're not going to be able to replicate that kind of game again in the other maps we have in this finals.
This is a map generally as well, where once you take your expansion as Terran, you will wall it in. And so
Correct.
speedlings are not really that useful on this map anymore. It kind of brings you to the point where it's like, okay, are you going heavy muta? Are you going to try to do something with lurkers? What do you want to do here as the Zerg player? Which means that the way that Light likes to play already is just very good on the map. So Light, once again, with that 15 command center, by the way, which is really important to know. Now a drone is here. This could be a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting him to send the drone across.
Yeah, I think he's going to block this from landing.
Oh, this is smart.
Yeah, if you can do this for long enough, things could go very wrong.
Yeah, this is... Okay, so I have a lot to say about this. You know, when the game was first made, you know, they had all the races have these unique, cool things they can do. But people abuse the fact that, for instance, you can't land a building if something is under it. And so he's just sitting here, and the barracks can't land. And if the barracks can't land, you can't finish the wall in, or make Marines. And so I would have to imagine the heart palpitations that are being felt over here by Light when he can't land that. Now we see what, it's only 2 links? No, he's going to send more links across the map.
Well, let's see if he makes more than the 4.
If he gets 6 or even 8, that means he really is activating a rush. 4 Zerglings is basically enough to try to control. But I like that technique. He basically just walks across the map, says, I know you're going to float a structure over here. Let me just get under it.
Yeah.
The game won't let you land it if something's under there.
Well, it shows just how greedy Light is trying to play in these early games. And, I mean, there's, like I said, you can either go 2 depots before your command center or 1 depot before. And this 1 depot before has some weaknesses. And we're seeing Queen fight against that a bit. Oh, God.
An appropriate moment to use the zoom feature for sure.
Yeah.
Factory put out on the map.
Did not even realize because I was watching that so closely. But he is doing a completely different build here, even though it kind of looks like the other builds that
it's funny because he, you know, in a way he almost tricked us who were casting because we were following the same route that he did in Game 1 and 2. Let's see if it works on Queen. So what's happening here is that there's a factory in the middle of the map. The Overlord is going to do a little bit of scouting here. Okay, hold on. If this Ling, if this Zergling catches this, dude, he can stop this from finishing.
Oh my God. If he stops the factory from finishing, Light's build is ruined.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, now it's random where the SCV goes. Okay, it's like 95%.
Oh, it's in the center.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It finishes.
That it was so incredibly important. If he loses that SCV there, the game is probably over.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I thought, now imagine that Ling had actually spotted that earlier. So he actually, I'm sorry, he did not even make a vulture there.
Yeah, I
he
think at this
cancels
point
it and he
you're
picks
just-
up and goes home because really the element of surprise is gone. Ideally, what would have happened, you know, if the Terran's plans went accordingly, is Queen would have never seen that, and suddenly a vulture goes inside the main base and starts killing workers. And you know, you're probably primed to not be in a healthy position in the mid game if that happens. But it stopped, and so far so good here for Queen, who's now finished his Spire, is throwing down a Den.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the Terran side of the map, we actually have an armory being made.
Yeah, he's going for the Valkyrie build, but this Den shows that Queen is kind of expecting this right now.
Yeah.
Definitely a bit nervous for Light. But obviously the Den is not so quick that this will be just, like, even if he goes Lurkers very quickly with it, it's not necessarily just going to kill Light immediately. In fact, if mutas don't come, for instance, okay, he's making a few mutas here. But that would set Light off a bit as well. And you can tell that right now he is upgrading Lurkers. Because he is not spending his larva that much, right?
How many Mutiluses do we have out now?
Maybe
3?
4 or 5.
Yeah, let's see if he gets over 5 here. But this is a very quick Hydralisk dead. And it looks like the defensive placement here from Light is quite good. Although the main base and the second base are sort of independent of each other here as far as defense goes. So here's the Valkyrie out. Now, historically, this unit was kind of the oddball unit that wasn't used that much. But it's incredibly, if you can control it well, and Light probably has the best Valkyrie control in the world.
Yeah.
It's very strong against air units. It's just a clunkier thing to try to manage. But, and we heard Artosis go, oh God, a second ago.
Yeah.
The Hydras are going to come across the map. And the Valkyrie, in some ways, Light is getting played here. He's been pressured into making a unit that's not going to be good for the follow-up attack, and we're going to see this push come out here now.
Now, is he going to morph Lurkers? I think so, right?
Well,
I'd be very surprised if it's just a Hydra tech.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's just Hydra tech, I don't imagine the Hydras can kill the bunkers. Yeah. So look at this. This is all a sleight of hand here from the Zerg. He's flying around, and he's making it look like a build that was used earlier on in the tournament. The 4 mutas. Terran probably imagines other bases being taken. In fact, an attack is about to commence.
Tasteless.
He is in deep trouble.
Even if you get your SCVs on that bunker in time, you're going to lose all of them to this account of Lurkers.
The scanners are about to finish.
Oh my God.
This game is about to get ugly. Oh my God, now Terran's pushing out. He doesn't know that there's an attack just north of here.
This is incredibly important that he's actually pushing out here. This is so important. This
Here we go.
Oh my God. This is bad news.
Oh, and the Lings get in
now.
front of that. They can't actually escape behind the structures now. He's going to push in further here.
That scan was
really
scan was
bad. Yeah, actually quite poor.
And he's just going to GG.
He taps out. Beautiful play here by Queen. He made that game, again, if you've been following the show and following the tournament, as far as strategies go, it looked like he was actually setting up for the double expand with a light amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, this Hydra attack comes out as Light is leaving. And by the way, Queen, looking confident here, but if we had Light on camera a second ago, he looked very frustrated. There he is now.
Yeah, I want to mention what we just saw from Queen. It was a very inefficient build. It was like against something normal that would have been terrible. Because he went Spire and he waited until the Spire was almost done when he finally got rid of the SCV to build the Hydralisk Den. Then he made an amount of mutas that can't do damage into very late Lurker push.
Yeah.
Now, this perfectly countered what Light was doing. But again, if it was against something normal, like a build that wasn't this build, it would have been terrible what he did. So some really high-level stuff coming out of Queen right now.
He's not just playing the map. He's not just playing the race. He's playing against the way his opponent approaches the game. And that is how you win a tournament. We're going to a short break, but when we come back, game number 5 in this best of 7, Queen versus Light in the ASL Season 9 Finals.
자, 반갑습니다. ASL 타이어차지 가자. 렛츠고. 역대급 경기들과 함께했던 이번 시즌도 됐은 정말 팬 여러분과 현장에서 함께하지 못해 많은 아쉬움. 다음 시즌은 코로나 바이러스를 이기고 건강하게 경기장에서 만나요. 이십니다. 와, 조금 빨랐는데 다들 코로나 바이러스 조심하시고 우리 ASL 파이팅. 33초.
오케이. 다음 시즌에는 꼭 이 코로나가 괜찮아져가지고 재밌는 경기 꼭 경기장에서 보셨으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
스테이 앳홈 다음 시즌은 꼭 직관. 다음 시즌에는 꼭 코로나를 이겨내서 현장에서 여기를 같이 즐겼으면 좋겠습니다. 화이팅!
ASL 많이 시청해줘서 감사하고 저도 많이 응원해주세요. 감사합니다.
샵 집에서 응원, 샵 스테이 앳홈, 샵 다음 시즌은 꼭 직관. 많은 사랑을 주셨던 분들께 감사합니다. 앞으로도 많이 지켜봐 주세요.
코로나 때문에 팬 여러분들도 같이 선수들과 호흡하지 못해서 아쉬움이 많았던 시즌인 것 같아요. 다음 시즌에 현장에서 여러분들과 함께 즐거운 한 시즌을 다시 보냈으면 좋겠습니다.
네, 여러분 이번 결승전 많이 응원해주시고요. 다음 시즌에는 꼭 현장에서 다시 만나요. 감사합니다.
스테이 앳홈 다음 시즌은 꼭 직관. 여러분들 모두 코로나 잘 극복해서 같이 함께 즐길 수 있도록 했으면 좋겠습니다. 여러분들 화이팅!
샵 스테이 앳홈 샵 다음 시즌은 꼭 직관. 3일차 동안 이게 뭐가 중요했습니다. 여러분들 코로나 꼭 이겨낼 수 있도록 다 같이 화이팅 합시다. ASL 화이팅!
코로나 때문에 집에서 이제 보는 거에 되게 아쉬움이 많으실 텐데요. 빨리 해결됐으면 좋겠고 결승전 재밌게 지켜봐 주셨으면 감사하겠습니다. ASL 사랑해주세요.
감사하겠습니다. 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 1등이다. 이 정도면 1등 주시면 하죠?
우와! 결기가 뭐냐? 시작! 역대급 경기들과 역대급 경기들 역대급이 뭐야? 역대급이 아깝다. 시즌 나이 얘기하지 말라고 했지. 샵 스테이 앳홈 좋아! 다음 시즌 꼭 직관! 저희가 이번에 코로나 때문에 결승전 직관 응원 좀 못 받는데 빨리 이게 조속히 좀 해결돼가지고 임성순 해설위원을 실제로 볼 수 있는 그 기회가 좀 주어졌으면 좋겠어요.
실제가 더 멋져요.
예. 여러분들 조금만 기다려주시면 저희가 꼭 이 코로나 이겨내가지고 저희 결승전 여러분과 함께 할 수 있을 거라고 생각합니다. ASL 파이팅!
와이샤워 ASL 샤만 안돼! 망했어. 멘탈 박살나네. 다음 시즌은 꼭 직관! 51초 나왔네요. 이번 시즌은 여러분과 함께하지 못해서 너무 아쉬웠어요. 허전했어요. 꼭 코로나 이겨내고 건강한 모습으로 집관이 아닌 직관으로 함께하길 기다리고 있겠습니다. 안녕!
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
취했나?
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
아벨은 까서 먹으라고 했는데 우리 아빠는 맨날 까먹어요.
라벨을 떼지 않아도 오키.
라벨을 없앤 아이시스 8.0 에코. 따는 순간 분리배출까지. 지구에게 오키, 모두에게 에코. 라벨이 없는 아이시스 8.0 에코. 섭취 이제 탄산으로. 청정제주 숙취 비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
Welcome back to the ASL. Things are not looking good for Light. Either Queen wins one of the upcoming games and we have a champion, or Light wins every game from here on out and has one of the most insane comebacks in StarCraft history.
Yeah, this would be probably the most impressive comeback that I could think of, especially because it has to start on Inner Coven. We've only had one Terran vs. Zerg victory on this map so far, and really that Zerg should not have lost. In fact, was it Queen? Was it Queen against like Rush or something, if I recall correctly? Anyways, whoever it was, yeah, this map is really hard TVC. Really hard TVC.
This map is the most extreme out there map that we have. We always have one map like this in ASL because we want to see where StarCraft can go if we put the players in unconventional settings. But oftentimes maps like this tend to end up with a race that's favored over the other. And you know, I think it's good to always bring these into tournaments because the rest of our maps are much more standard. But this is a map we would expect Zerg to win on. So Light, I don't know what he's going to do, but it has to work now or he's out of the ASL finals. Game 5 is ready. Let's go.
시즌 9. 게임 준비 완료. 이너코분에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Okay, we have Queen here in the center left and Light in the upper right. I want to talk about this map, but first I just want to discuss for a second the way that Light plays in the previous games where he's going for his standard builds, and these are all the games that he's lost, by the way. You know, Terran is such a fragile race early on. It can become very strong once you get the right parts to it, but some of these Terran build orders, it kind of reminds me of, did you ever watch Cirque du Soleil? You know, where you see these people jumping on each other's shoulders and they're defying, you know, gravity and human potential.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it's like to watch a really good Terran get set up with one of these risky fast expand builds. And Queen is basically like a guy with a baseball or a loud horn who's trying to make that that delicate procedure fall apart.
Yeah.
And he succeeded every time. So if we do have Light survive this game and go on into the future, I'm very curious to see what he's going to elect to open up with.
Yeah, I'm really unsure. Like, sometimes people try to go Wraiths here, sometimes they go for that fast expansion. Of course, the one victory we saw, it was a quick expansion in the center into a big bio push. But all of that feels like there's a lot of ways to counter it. At the same time, I have to say, I think this would likely be the least prepared map on both sides. Because it basically gains you nothing in the preparation for it other than this map. More so than Hitchhiker by like times 10.
Yeah, so let's talk about this map now. This is, I guess we could call it a semi-island map. It's shaped like a giant hub. So if you break down the structures in the middle, you can move through the middle. There's also eggs that block off locations on the sides. Generally speaking, historically actually, Zerg were weak on island maps, but those were island maps where you started out with one base. And so map makers have experimented with different ways to offer players a route to getting a second base up, where you can expand there, but you can't easily move attacking units. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Also, there's these permanent disruption webs around the edges of the map.
Yeah,
which can be a factor here.
And the reason why this map is Zerg favored is the disruption webs. Basically, everyone can expand quickly. The Zerg a little bit better because they can use their overlords to see the destructible plates to center their hatcheries right away. So that's kind of a nice little bonus of having detector overlords. But you know, Terran will build it off center, then lift it when they get like a missile turret,
right?
Instance, or a scan, or however they want to go about that. But the problem here is, in a regular map, it's really hard to stop Mutalisk harassment between your main and your natural.
Right.
Here, your Marines just cannot traverse that area. You cannot. First off, it's too far already. So even if there were not disruption webs, it would be incredibly difficult.
Right.
But there are disruption webs, so anything that walks through there, flying units can just kill 100% for free. So that means that you simply must go tech. It must be starports, and then suddenly we're like playing in this very thin area where there's not a lot of staying power, and it's very predictable.
Right.
So
yeah.
That really favors Zerg in that way.
It's one of the reasons why most of the time you don't see island maps used in competitive play. There's too many problems around balancing. Whereas if you have StarCraft on a land map that's reasonably structured, it can go any way.
Yeah, we'll generally only see island maps in professional play the season after Flash wins too many times, basically.
Yeah.
That's we've had 2 island maps, and they were both following the feeling of Flash is winning too much.
Right. How do we make this harder for a Terran?
Yeah. Which he can't do that anymore, man, because he's a random now.
Yeah, well, think about this. If he really does go random, if we have an island map there, can you imagine playing against random on an island map?
It's impossible. You can't do it. It can't be done.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
You just say GG at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
That would be funny. But since he's not going Terran, they don't need to make island maps anymore.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, how funny. Okay, so 3 bases quite quickly for Queen, which means he's going to have access to a huge amount of gas. And oh yeah, the other thing why this is super strong is you can't put pressure on these bases as Terran.
Right.
So we're going to have Light go into 2 starport, 3 starports. Yeah, that makes sense. He's just going to make as many Wraiths as he possibly can.
So on paper, Mutalisks are basically superior units to Wraiths. But Wraiths, they're funny because they deal a lot of damage, but they also die faster than I think pretty much anything I can think of for how much they cost.
Yeah, it's
now they can cloak, but that's not exactly the most useful thing against Zerg. But
it is useful though.
Well, it's something, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely something. You'll take it for sure, right?
Yeah, like
but,
if you pick off the Overlords or, you know, there's situations. The Overlords, even with speed, are not as fast as Wraiths or Mutas. So you find little edges where the cloak helps out.
And if he does manage to pick off those Overlords, then things can spiral out of control. So there is a balancing act here for Zerg. So I don't want to take too much of the wind out of the hype sails here because this is a map that Terrans have had a hard time on. There are things they can do. Now, with the armory there, and I'm genuinely asking here, I'm not trying to lead a question. Do you want to get that for air attack?
I'm sorry. Okay, so there's an armory?
Yes.
I think he'll probably make Valkyries with his Wraiths.
But is there any merit in trying to upgrade the damage for air units here?
I tell you, if you get +1 air attack, and they're still going Mutas, you got it. You will wreck with your Valkyries.
Well,
+1 air attack Valkyries, like Mutas, just all of them disappear instantly.
Now notice that he has his engineering bay floating over the turret. There's all these little techniques you can do.
He also has something floating over his control tower.
Yes.
So we don't know if there's cloak on the way or when it's finishing or anything like that.
Right.
And he is getting the +1 air attack. That was a good call there, Tasteless. And that's kind of exciting. That is definitely something that can be very helpful.
And so we're going to go into this air versus air arms race. Yeah, he just had to relocate that command center because he killed the...
You got to pull your SCVs off or the Mutas will end up getting them, and they'll get in the way of landing.
So he has 1 Valkyrie that he's keeping inside the base, and we're starting to see the Terran mount his own fleet of air units. And he's going to send this around the corner of the map here and try to come in here and maybe just get some drones, but it'll be hard to get these back home once you set them out like this. This really highlights actually how crummy Wraiths are at just killing stuff. This is they literally didn't kill anything.
Yeah, they have very low
okay, this is not looking good for Light here. He literally sent that across the map and then...
Wow.
Oh, but hold on, Artosis. What about these 2 up here?
Yeah. What about him?
You see, they don't kill stuff quickly at all.
No, they certainly do not. Okay, well, he's going to cloak and get out of there, knowing that he has already overstayed his welcome. So already losing a couple Wraiths, not the greatest start, but he has Valkyries.
That's right.
And that is really, really huge.
I actually think that Queen is going to try to go in here for a killing blow.
Oh, he can't. There's no way.
Well, look at how many of Overlords are moving across the map. He's got like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think he's playing a little bit safe with that because, like you said, if you lose his Overlords, the Wraiths can moving shot. They can chase down a lot of mutas while they try to get out.
Yeah, he's going to have these
That is a lot of Overlords.
Yeah, that really... I mean, maybe he's just going to move that with the army, but it almost appears as though he wants to ensure that he can actually take control of this position. Now, it's just one turret. We're going to have the air fleet come in here for Terran. These units are generally considered inferior compared to the Mutalisks, but with the 3 Valkyries there... Oh my god, hold on. Who's going to win this fight? I think Zerg just takes this.
Oh, I think he is going to just barely take it here. If he had a couple turrets, he might be fine, but... That is probably the end of the game, the end of the match, the end of ASL Season 9.
Yeah, very straightforward loss here. Queen dominated on all the other previous maps, and then we get to this, our very odd map. And I guess
this one was always very favored.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't have a more straightforward ending to one of the craziest seasons we've ever had of ASL.
Yeah, yeah. Everything else was great. The finals, definitely Queen showing his prowess over light here.
Yeah, Terran, GG. Terran cannot function for one base, and so that's it. And look at Queen. He cannot hide the smile.
Well, he is finally a champion now. After a long time waiting, this guy is the best Zerg in the world right now.
Easily.
Everyone kind of knows it, and it's been weird that he doesn't have a championship, but here he is, ASL Season 9 champion.
He's done a great job of educating the population of ways to play Zerg in the advanced era. He has it on his YouTube channel. Excellent guides out there. But a lot of times he was in the background compared to our other ASL players, but he eliminated Flash to get here, and then he went up against Light and crushed him there as well.
You can't say that he had an easy road.
Yeah, he
round
actually
of 8
had
Larva, round of 4 Flash, finals Light.
Literally the hardest road to get here out of everybody.
Yeah, beating Flash,
and
you're right.
You can see Light, he was so confident before, and you know what's funny is in the interviews he said, Queen is very predictable. He does the same thing. And then in a twist of fate, it's Light who was doing the same thing every game. Queen mixing up and just constantly deceiving and defeating his opponent here in the finals. Incredible stuff. Here's our beautiful empty studio that when the world beats coronavirus, you guys can come down and see in person.
It is beautiful. And
it's
some
huge.
Amazing lighting and everything. You can see that's his trophy. I love it. Queen with the well-deserved victory. Really, this has been a long time coming.
A real turning point here for Zerg against Terran. Terran stood in the way of Zerg for so long in this matchup, in this meta, especially with Flash. Flash, using Valkyries to try to hold it off. Queen is shown how to topple that technique. Just incredible stuff. Caster Park is on stage. He'll be interviewing our champion Queen in ASL Season 9. Again, although this finals was somewhat one-sided, the season could not have been more epic. Caster Park says our Season 9 champion is Queen. It's been almost 12 years and you finally become a champion, and you now can raise the trophy. With so many insane opponents to go up against, you also beat the multi-time champion Flash in the round of 4 to get here, and then won 4-1. Since you've started your professional gaming career, it's been almost 13 years since you started as a pro. You went through so much. Tell us how you're feeling. Yeah, this is my first championship. It doesn't feel real to me. I don't even know if I'm worthy to raise this trophy. I feel incredibly emotional. Since we don't have an audience here, if we had it, I think I'd be crying. Now I understand why players before me have become so emotional when they win. Queen, you've broken every record. And in the round of 4, You took down Flash. In the finals, you took down Light. You were in the group of death in the round of 16. A lot of people just wouldn't expect for you to be the player here in the finals, let alone the one getting the trophy. What do you attribute the success to? Honestly, I actually consistently have poured myself into this game for the past 10 years, so when I started this season, I just try to empty my mind and just go step by step through the tournament, round by round, opponent by opponent. I think there was a little bit of luck with me along the way as well. A lot of people have said that ASL Season 9 was the best season we've ever had. I'm sure there's friends and family that helped you here. Do you have anything you want to say? Yes, so the people who have helped me and been supportive of me. Thank you for helping me get on this stage. Also, I'm feeling very grateful to be on the same level as those former champions, the people I've looked up to, and I'm not finished trying. We're in a new era of Zerg now. I want to hear your dreams moving forward now. I usually play macro play, but in the semifinals, I decided to alter my play style and go more aggressive and then carry that on into the finals. And I think that helped me. I think my opponents weren't prepared for that. And I think I'm going to try to have a more diverse play style going into the future. Well, once again, congratulations, Queen. It's time for the award ceremony. You can step over there. Artosis. What a finals. What a domination, really, by Queen.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we've had close finals in the past, but this is the one we were the most confident would be the closest and the hardest to call. And then as the series unfolded, it became more and more self-evident. It's going to be Queen who's going to take this no matter what map we're on, really.
I know. I'm trying to think of what our best finals in ASL has been. It has to be Effort Flash.
Yeah.
And then after that, probably Shuttle Sharp.
So we're going to do the runner-up award now. And this will be head of esports, Mr. Che, coming out. We'll be giving last the second place check.
That's right. Light.
And I believe he has a few words to say. We're very sad we weren't able to have a live audience here in our new beautiful studio, but we're still lucky we can have ASL finals now. I want to congratulate the runner-up and the champion for their great games. Also, thanks to our viewers and our fans, the community, for supporting ASL. AfreecaTV is going to continue to invest into esports in the future. So please keep supporting us. Yay! And so now, we are really going to do the award ceremony. Now, Light has already had experience holding giant checks. Let's bring Light out now. But, guys, Queen winning the first time, he's going to get the giant check, the trophy, and then the unnecessary flowers. But he only has 2 hits.
Necessary. You fool, Texas.
How dare you? He'll go home and put that in his plant pot.
Light with the second place. What a strong finish from him. Of course, he's a KSL champion now, an ASL runner-up, and I think he's a threat going forward as well. Like, he's so strong. The finals, he definitely did not show what we all thought he would, what we all hoped he would, and I'm sure he is the one most disappointed in himself. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play again next
I like
season.
a comeback story, you know? So the question is, can Queen hold the giant check, the trophy, the flowers? How will he do it?
We'll see.
Maybe we don't have flowers.
Who knows?
We're going to have our CEO of AfreecaTV come out, and he'll be awarding our champion. So you've been supporting ASL since the get-go at Season 1. You've always been a big supporter of the game and the community. Is there anything you want to say? So this is our new Hot 6 Coliseum at Jamshil Station. This is a huge venue, but we only had 2 players that could fill it up here. I'm a little bit bummed out we couldn't have a big audience for this. But I do believe there's a lot of fans who would have loved to have been down here today. But thank you guys for watching from home. Queen mentioned also when we have a live audience, he probably would have cried. And I believe we'll probably be having that next season. We also have a beautiful, there's an ice skating rink next to the ice skating rink. Maybe we can have our final stage over there. I would love to do that. So we hope to do that in the future.
All right, Flash playing random on ice skates.
All right. Let's bring our champion up. Yeah, I look forward to our next season finals, Artosis. Esports on Ice, the musical.
Here is our winner, Queen, putting up a fantastic season overall, no doubt about that.
Oh, big hug here from Kevin. There's the check. Get this off of there. All right, there we go.
Look at that.
Look at that.
30 million.
$30 billion.
That is a big prize check right there.
That's
Very
right.
well deserved once again. Congratulations to Queen.
Look how happy he is. Don't give up. Keep trying. He did it, man. I mean, this is how competitive StarCraft is. Over a decade of trying to achieve your dreams.
Yeah, well, that's how long it takes.
Where's the trophy?
10, 12 years at least as a pro gamer.
Whoop. Did you run out of music? No, of course not. I was teasing you guys. No, Jesus, the music's gone. Relax. Okay, that's it. No flowers this time.
No.
You know, if there's one thing that screams esports, it's flowers. So I'm a little bit surprised we didn't have the flowers for this award ceremony, but okay.
All right.
Guys, thank you for joining us. What a season, and ASL Season 10 will be later on in this year, so do join us for that. GSL Code S is still going on. We're still in the very early phases of that.
Yeah, and we're going to have that on Wednesday. Do not forget to tune in. That'll
a little
be
bit earlier.
Yeah, at 5 p.m. KST, same time we started the stream here today. A little bit sad that it was so quick and kind of one-sided. I really did not expect that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that just goes to show you where Queen is at. I don't know if there's a Terran that can stand in his way. I mean, next season, Terran players better be hoping they can avoid Queen. Maybe another Zerg or a Protoss player can try to take him on.
Yeah.
Also, Queen's ZVZ looks untouchable.
Yeah, his ZVZ is quite good, but it has stopped him in the past. Hard to say.
Guys, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands. And come to our new studio when the world finally beats coronavirus. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
And I needed something, someone to trust in, yeah. I needed something to get me through this life. Never saw you coming, and now we're just running, yeah. You make me feel nothing when we're driving through the night. And I've been looking all around at the places you and I were seeing so many different faces. We're just cruising right on through this life with the playlist, and everything is right. Never really thought I would make it. Found someone who I don't think I'll ever replace, and I'm empty in my heart, so you can just take it. I'm living my best life, and I feel so alive with you by my side. We can make